Hi, friends. Welcome back. I'm Caitlin. It's so nice to see you. I am so excited for tonight. We are going to get a little bit messy and make our own custom glitter shimmer paste, which we have done together before, but this time we have a new product to use as well. Last time I added the super fine glitters and the chunky glitter, and we added a little bit of one of the Pink and Main reinkers, but it did water down the consistency of the paste. So now we have a new pigment out there. These guys came out last week. These are the Watercolor Gems Shimmer Powdered Watercolors. And someone said that they had taken an in-person class with Pink and Main at the store in Florida and that they had used them in paste, and I was immediately inspired. Um, I also heard that they pop amazingly on black cardstock. So obviously, I had to try both of those things. And you can see here, I have made my own glitter shimmer paste and put it on black cardstock, and it is absolutely stunning. So that is what inspired me today, what we're going to be kind of basing our cards off of. They're not all going to be on black cardstock. We're going to change it up a little bit. Oh, hey, everybody. Virginia, Heather, Melody. It's so nice to see you guys. I love seeing all your chats. Oh, it's raining down in Florida. This is just payback for those times when it was really cold here and it was nice down there. So let me get us situated here. So from this angle too, you can see that the shimmer on this just pops like crazy. And so what I decided I want to do is I want one on a mini slimline white card base. We're going to do another black card base. And then I also have a piece of the barbershop blue cardstock, and we're going to do a little bit of a contrasting color to see how that goes. So I fell in love with how the stars turned out. And with this one, what I did was I took the Caribbean and the eggplant, and then I took orchid and ocean wave. And we're going to do the same color combination again today, but with a different stencil, just so you can see how I did that. But I kind of mix and combine them. And so that is some of what we're going to do today, but I also brought in some other fun and different colors. And some we're going to add glitter to, and some we are not. We're just going to leave them shimmery. So let me get that one out of the way. I did that yesterday to make sure that I had a dry example to show you. I have my glossy gel here, which is obviously key. This is what we're going to be using to make our pastes. I have a palette, which is just a piece of acrylic, and I have a glitter side and a watercolor side. So we're going to use the glitter side, as well as one of the Pink and Main palette knives, and then my stencils. So for my stencils today, I grabbed the Scattered Stars, which is that same one that I used on the black one to check how it was going to work. I loved it so much. It was beautiful. So this one we're going to do on our blue cardstock today. I grabbed the Bubbly Waves, which I've used before. It's just so pretty. So I was thinking this one we would do with the colors that we used for the stars before, that I used for the stars earlier, that Caribbean and eggplant. See if we can make something a little kind of oceany. And then my last one is a little bit of a surprise choice, I think. This is the, oh gosh, it's listed and linked in the description. I might have Easter in the title, but now I'm second guessing myself. So this one is technically an Easter stencil, right? It has the bunnies and the eggs and then kind of like the peep style bunnies. But what I want to do is use it on my mini slimline and use it like this. So we're just kind of getting the eggs and the carrots and hearts and stitches. And that way I'm going to try to make it more of like a farm theme to use with those chicken stamps, the chicken, just chicken in, just to try something different. And If you've come to hang out with me before, you know that I love to find ways to use holiday or specific like themed items in a different way to get more use out of them. And so it's really important to me to see if I can make that Easter stencil work as a farm. So where should we start? You know what? Let's just go all in. We're just going to start with our farm Easter. It's what's on top. So I have just some printer paper down for my, to protect my surface. And I have like a turkey pan, like a foil turkey pan over here on the side with just clean water that I can throw my stencils into as we're creating. I learned my lesson with that last time. You don't want to let your glitter paste or glossy gel dry onto your stencils. So I'm just taking some washi tape. I'm going to line my cardstock up with the edges and the top of my stencil, and we'll just tape it in place at the bottom. I am using donut washi tape because I have it and I'm trying to use it all up. All right, so my thought with this one is to do no glitter and to just do the sunny and the emerald, kind of yellow and green, kind of sunshine and grass. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So what I'm going to do is take a little bit of my glossy gel and I'm going to create two little piles. And I'm going to give myself a good bit of room because I don't want my colors to mix. And this is kind of a small space, right? Especially compared to like an A2 or a full slim line. And then I am going to take my emerald, and you could definitely scoop this out if you have a little scoop. I used to have a tiny spoon from Pink and Maine, but I misplaced it. So I'm just doing a couple tiny taps on the side of my jar, pouring in a little bit of that color. Oh, okay. And I'm being mindful of how I'm going to mix these because of rainbow and color theory, right? I'm going to mix my yellow first so I don't have to clean off my spatula as much, because if a little extra yellow gets in the green, it's just going to make it a more yellowy green. It's not going to change the color too much. This is definitely more pigment than I added in yesterday, but I'm going to mix it all in because it's already out here. And now now I'm curious to see how it works with all of that pigment. So getting the excess off of my spatula and then go in with the green. And the green and the like the eggplant was really fun to mix because as you can kind of see it there, as it reacts with the glossy gel, you kind of get the little streaks going of where the different pigments pick up. It's really cool. All right, so let me grab a wipe now, because at least now I'm not wasting all kinds of paste. And I'm going to start with my yellow, the same reason I started with it, to mix. And I think instead of doing just, for this one, actually, let's do an ombre, because I'm going to do a mix on my bubbles. And I want to show you guys like both ways. So I'm going to start with my yellow up at the top. You want to kind of press your paste down into the stencil kind of wells that are being created. This looks like mustard. All right, so our kind of ombre section is going to happen probably right here over these stitches. So I'm pressing in some of that color, but I'm not going too crazy. I'm not filling those wells. I want there to be a little bit of a gap. And I'm just taking the edge of my spatula and really gently scraping over the sides. Okay, and then I'm gonna, because I still have some of that yellow on my spatula, I'm gonna start kind of in the same area, a little bit underneath. And that way I can kind of blend up into that yellow. So my plan for these, for anybody that hasn't hung out with us on a two-part project week before, is we're going to make the backgrounds tonight, and then on Thursday I will make the rest of the cards. So whatever sentiments, stamped images, whatever else is going to finish them off, we will make those and then assemble the cards once everything is dry on Thursday. So you can kind of see there how we're getting some of those streaks from the pigment. It's just so interesting to me. I really don't want a giant blue streak. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to tackle that middle section. And I want to pull down a little bit of that yellow onto the top of the carrots. Okay, and I want to pull some of that green onto the bottom of those hearts. Like that. And there we go. That is our first background done. Of course, there's a dog hair in there. Of course there is. There had to be, right? I have tweezers here. I'm going to actually try to get it out before it smears. There we go. Okay, so that is our shimmer watercolors just on their own, added in for this really fun kind of ombre, what will be a farm themed background. So I'm going to set that to the side to dry. There we go. All right, let's do some cleanup. I'm just going to wipe off my palette knife. This is definitely a project that can be done a little less messy, or if you're me, will probably end up a little messy, but I really don't mind. And I have a baby wipe, and the color of this paste is with the baby wipe is giving me newborn feels. If you know, you know. So I'm just wiping that off of my palette so we can do another color. If I wasn't live, I would just take it to my sink and rinse it down. And then, oh, look at that. We just make our little burrito and put that on the floor. Safe and sound. All wrapped up. And we're ready for our next one. Oh, hey, Michelle. I'm so excited that you got to jump in. I was inspired by, I'm pretty sure it was Carmen who said she took your class in person at the store and that you guys got to use the new watercolors in gel. And so I just had to try it. So we have one background down. We're going to start on, I think, our, Let's do our contrast color one next, because the last one I think is going to be the most fun. So for the contrasting color one, we're going to use the Barbershop blue cardstock and the Scattered Stars stencil. I'm just going to glue one side down. Okay, and then I am going to combine citrine and tangerine superfine glitter, and we're going to make a beautiful bright orange glitter paste to see how a contrasting color does on this cardstock. So orange and blue are complementary colors. And so I think it's going to really pop. And I want to kind of test that pigmentation in that gloss, in the watercolor. And I already have a very heavy suspicion that it is going to stand up to that blue, no problem. So another little pile of glossy gel. This time we're going to go in with the citrine orange, a couple little taps. And I'm not going to go overboard with that because of the orange in the tangerine glitter. I mean, seriously, how stunning is that? I love this glitter. But that orange is also going to help to pop that paste over the edge. Give it a little mix. And I did put down a bigger blob of glossy gel than before, just because this is an A2 sized panel. And I'm going to even add just a tiny bit more citrine. I want to make sure that I have enough to cover the whole panel. And I really want this pigment to be bold. All right. Same idea. I'm going to just work my way from one corner over, kind of pushing my paste down. I like to go in kind of at an angle, holding my palette knife at a little bit of an angle. To first apply it, and then I go back with it and try to be a little more soft and even when I'm scraping off the excess product. So for my Easter stencil slash farm stencil, I want to use that Just Chicken In again, but I have absolutely no idea what I want to use for this background. So if you have any ideas or you saw from the release any sets that you'd like to see me use to make this card on Thursday, definitely leave a comment on either platform and I will check back before Thursday for some ideas and inspiration because I really don't know. So I do want to leave this a little thicker because again, I really want that pigment, that color to show up and stay true. So I'm not going to do a huge scrape. I'm really okay with this one being a little thicker, especially because I know that I have a long time to let it dry. So there is, into the water. So I did have a little bit of a bleed down here at the bottom, which I felt when it happened. I kind of pushed my spatula flat and it kind of picked up my stencil. But I had a feeling we're going to trim some of this anyway, so I'm really not super concerned. But I definitely think that that orange pigment is holding up beautifully. And you can kind of see a hint of glitter now, but once it dries, that glitter absolutely wakes up and is going to pop like crazy. So just trust me on that one. I'm just going to set this over here to lay flat and dry. Okay. One more time with my wipes. So this last one is going to be using the same colors I used on my inspiration piece. And I am doing it on the black cardstock again, just because this turned out so beautiful. But I want to kind of do, that one was kind of supposed to be like a galaxy kind of theme. And this time with the bubbly waves, I want to create more of an underwater, maybe like mermaid feel. Again, I don't have an exact stamp set in mind for this card yet. So if anybody has ideas, I could be very easily swayed. But I just love this stencil so much, you guys. The bubbly wave stencil is so stinking cute. I feel like it just fits so many different themes. So for this one, we're going to do Caribbean and eggplant. And I'm going to mix in ocean wave and orchid glitter because why not? Yeah, so yep. So for that, the orange stars on the blue cardstock, that's kind of what I wanted to test out and see with you guys for Thursday. But with how absolutely like, let me switch because you can really see it better forward. How bright and vibrant these stayed on black cardstock makes me believe, and I'm sure Michelle would tell me if it was otherwise, that that orange is going to stay true to color on that blue. And for right now, it definitely looks that way. It is so pigmented that I think we're going to be good, especially because I left it just a tiny bit thicker. So, oh, they're in the mail. That's so exciting, Julianne. That's always like the best and worst thing ever, right? Because you know they're on the way, but at the same time, you still have to wait. All right, so same idea. I'm starting with 2 piles, just a tiny bit more because A2. Okay, we're gonna add some Caribbean to one. And it's just crazy. Like I feel like each time I use these, I feel like I'm using a lot, but I know in the scheme, like, these are still gonna last me forever. Kind of like my glitters. Every time I use my glitters, I'm like, wow, that's a lot of glitter. And I'm like, yeah, but look at how much is still in this container. So that's Ocean Wave. Stunning. And then eggplant on here kind of looks blue, kind of looks purple, but as soon as it hits the glossy gel, you'll see it immediately starts to get like the violet kind of purple tones brought out in it. And we're going to enhance those with that orchid, which has the most beautiful like pink, blue, purple multicolor sparkle. If I could just make glitter paste and Copic coloring all day, that's the only thing I would do. Well, that's not true because now we have all these beautiful foils, but I still have a very soft place in my heart for these. Like, look at how rich and beautiful that color is. Oh, it's just not even doing it justice on camera. So beautiful. Again, I'm doing my teals first, like I did with my yellow before, because if we add a tiny hint of extra teal or blue to the purple, it's still going to be purple. And that way I don't have to scrape everything off of my palette. I feel like I'm already being wasteful enough with my little printer paper burritos. These are just absolutely so fun and bright and saturated though. That eggplant just gets me every time, man. So for this one on the black cardstock, I want to do the same kind of thing that I did with my stars. And instead of doing a straight ombre or one color, um, I am going to, let's do it at an angle because that looked fun. Yeah, I like that. Let's angle that. And I'm going to do different kind of color swatches coming in from different angles and then kind of just fill in the rest. So we get something that looks a little, not organic, but a little less controlled, a little organized chaos. So I'm going to bring color kind of diagonally through here, but not all the way. And then maybe down here at the bottom, kind of striping that. That's fine. Add a little up here. What's left on the knife? Oh, I spent way too much. I'm gonna have to find something else to stencil. Do you guys ever do that when you have too much? You just find something else? I'll just find something since this one's our last one anyway. I think I might just even have an extra white piece of white cardstock over here. We can just stencil something really quick. And I just make no promises to use whatever that one is on Thursday, just for time's sake. So now I'm just going in with that teal, that Caribbean, and I'm filling in any gaps. And in some places they're going to mix. And all that means is either you get really cool like striations or you get this beautiful kind of navy color that I got with some of my stars that I just thought was absolutely stunning. So either way, I do not mind where they overlap. I'm not looking for a super smooth ombre kind of transition here. Keep it on that side. So let's peel up on this side. Oh my goodness. Look at how cool that is. I have to go through my stash and find shells or mermaids or something to do with this one with you guys on Thursday because it's gonna dry so cool. I can just already tell. I can envision it. This over here with our blue. All right, and let's fold our paper at least. Oh yeah, we're just hitting 30 minutes. So let's do one last surprise one that I was not planning on because why not? Paper. Okay, so I have one more white cardstock, one other scrap from or piece left over from that ice rink. And I have my Let's do that. That'll be really fun. So I have the seashell. I guess maybe it's better on solid. Do I have a good solid? I have blue. Blue, just so you can see. This really fun kind of organic seashell shape. So Julianne, for drying time, I leave mine overnight, but I'm pretty sure, I think within like a half hour or hour, depending on how thick it is, the glossy gel has dried pretty well for me in the past. But if you can, I would recommend leaving it overnight just to be on the safe side. All right, so let's take down that. And let's just use up. I'm going to start in the center because I don't really know if I have enough paste to get all the way to the edges. I think I do, but just in case, we'll start in the middle. And I am just kind of holding down my stencil a little bit because this is definitely one that has a lot more empty space, and I don't want any of that kind of bleeding to occur if I can help it. So I'm going to do kind of a diagonal. Apparently, my hand just kind of went that way. All right. And then I'm going to pick up my purple. All right, in there. And with these ones that have these bigger open cells in them, you definitely want to make sure that when you're scraping, you're holding your knife, your palette knife flat, so you're not scooping the product out of that well. And then to get the other side, just because I'm right-handed and how my brain works, I'm just flipping the whole panel kind of upside down so that I'm not kind of putting my arm in crazy angles. You don't need any contortionist acts. Yeah, see, my knife kind of dipped in there. Like that. Oh, good. I'm not on my desk yet. I can't tell if that's cardstock or printer paper. So, but look at that. We got to use up the rest of our paste. So I have not personally used Pixie Spray, but I know a lot of people do. I don't know how something like Pixie Spray would hold up to stenciling when you're using like a more wet medium like this. Because it dries down normal, but this is definitely something that has a little more liquid, like it's just a softer consistency. So I'm not positive how that would work. If anybody else has used a Pixie Spray when doing like a paste or gel like this, definitely let us know. I'm very curious to know the answer to that too. Put that down in the water too. All right, let's make one last burrito. Nope, that's a messy burrito. There we go. We'll just wrap it up. All right, let's see if I can bring these out here. Let's put another clean white piece under here, just printer paper. Protect my desk. But while this is wet, you can see it just wipes up super easy with a baby wipe or paper towel. Okay, so there's our shell. Here is our farm. It just looks absolutely neon on the camera. How funny is that? It does not look neon in real life. Here is our stars. And then here are our bubbles. All right. So yeah, that's a good point too. So if we use the pixie spray, when you go to peel off your stencil, you might have to work a little bit harder. It might give you the extra grip might be too much to have that really easy peel. That's a perfect point. Um, yeah, so I hope that you are as excited as I am to see how these turn out on Thursday. Like I said, if you have any ideas for rude. If you have any ideas for stamps or sentiments that you would like to see used to make any of these cards, I definitely want to use the chickens for the farmy one, but I am very open for the other 2/3, depending on how much we think we can get done on Thursday. So definitely leave me a comment in whatever platform you're on, Facebook or YouTube, and I will go back to take a look. Otherwise, all of the links to everything we used today are in the description, either above or below this video, so you can check that stuff out. All of the new products are officially out as of this past weekend and are shipping, right? We saw Julianne said hers are already on the way in the mail. So, yeah, until next time, thank you so much for coming to hang out with me. I will see you back here on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And I hope you have an amazing Wednesday. And until next time, happy crafting.